Hey guys, BNSF 9370 here to do a layout update after 5 years. I have kind of gotten back into the hobby. Uh, my boys are old enough now where they've come down and helped me and they enjoy it a lot more. So we can just jump right in. I believe the last update I had, there was no rail bed, no track, nothing was laid. Well, we have all the mains laid and the entire body of the yard. So this yard is a loose base off of Avon, Indiana. It's a CSX yard. It's a hump yard, but we're not going to use it in that fashion. So this is the yard itself. This is one of their facilities maps. We've kind of consolidated it down and made it to work for the space that we have. So we've got a main line, controlled siding. We have 3 departure lines that sit over in this area. So these 3 lines here are your departure line. There's your controlled siding there, and then your main is on the outside. The fueling area will sit in this area here. And then we've got, see, this is all done on any rail. So we've got the runaround track, which would be the next track in. And then from there, you've got 5 classification lines and 3 receiving lines. Also, there'll be a diesel house, and there will be an intermodal yard, just like there is on the real Avon yard. Their intermodal yard sits right over here. It's not a very big one, so that will be represented in the same area it would be on their yard. I just have to cut this switch in here to be able to get us over to this area. Then you've got your interlock over here. It's called the CPAN interlock, and that will reside over in this area. Then you've got the kind of Danville that sits over in this area. This will have a concrete plant. IMI or Irving Materials will go in this area here. And then we'll travel on to Coal Bluff. There'll be a mine there. Then we'll go to Terre Haute. There'll be an extrusion plant there. And then we'll move on to the Champaign subdivision, which will tie in here to the main lines and take you into Centralia, Illinois. Over there, I was trying to think the best thing to do over there. At this point, I'm thinking some kind of lumber mill to make wood chunks for the paper mill that sits over on the other side of the layout. So once you travel through here, so this area here is probably going to be something like Effingham, Illinois. Then once you travel over here, you go into a area called Vandalia, and it sits here. Traveling through Vandalia are the 2 main lines for the St. Louis subdivision, and then also paralleling this is the BNSF Beardstown sub, which is coming out of Litchfield, which is on the other side of the layout. So now you're looking at an area that will be the steel mill. This is Granite City that sits over in this area. We've got some turnouts already coming off the mains here on the Beardstown sub, and then also on the main line here. And then the main line here also has another switch for some switching back in there. So this layout is an industrial switching layout. So a lot of switching that goes on, a lot of industries, and hopefully a lot of switching in the yard as well. So this is where you would hit the town of Litchfield. So in Litchfield, that's where the Beardstown subdivision starts. And this is the Beardstown sub, and that Beardstown sub is the one that wraps around and takes you over into Centralia. Once you pass through here, you'll go into Taylorsville. Taylorsville, Illinois, this is where the paper mill will sit. None of this stuff is down. It's just sitting here to kind of out of the way for now. This is a representation of the NS Brooklyn district. Once you leave there, you'll go over to Decatur, Illinois. This will be your last stop on the layout before you go back to Avon. This is where we'll have grain elevators, something like that. And once you come back this way, now you've hit the interlock for what they call CPMY, which is the other end of the yard. So we've started a little bit of wiring, kind of started to solder those on and put those down through the table, ready to wire in. We have ran a train for the first time around the layout, which was pretty cool to see. We just did it with a DC engine, and it did really well. We only fed it from one location, so that's a good thing. But we are going to go with this DCS 100 Digitrax. This is what's going to be the main power supply for the layout. We just haven't started that yet. So, yeah, just let me know what you guys think, and be glad to be back in it. Thanks.